Harmonica microphones are something of a dark art, which can lead to a lot of confusion amongst harmonica players. But fear not, the awesome Hank Shreve is going to help to demystify them for you, so that you can select the correct microphone for the tone that you want from your harmonica. Before Hank tells you about microphones, you can do a little something for me and smash that like button by hitting the thumbs up below. This is brilliant for the YouTube algorithm and it helps my videos to get shown to more people.
Tell me who you thinking of.
I could sit here and list names all day long of all just purely clean players. So you might find that with yourself. You might find you're more of a clean, just straight through the PA, acoustic type of player. That's fine, you know. Or maybe you like both equally, playing clean and playing amplified. That's me, because this is the most important thing out of everything. Not all genres, not all songs, not all bands, what have you, not all of them require amplified harmonica, right? Like if I'm playing in a country band, I probably wouldn't even bring an amp or a microphone to the gig. I would probably just play right through the PA. Why? Because have you heard any country harmonica that was amplified? Very, very little. Very little, right? Country harmonica is mostly clean, right through the PA, very natural sounding. So just things like that. Also same with bluegrass, folk, gospel. You know, it's just, you know, you have to kind of use your instinct. The sound of an amplified harmonica is pretty powerful, especially if you're playing through a big amp. It can be like not just powerful, but sometimes it can be a little offensive, right? So you just want to use your instinct. If you feel like you're overpowering the room or overpowering the band or the song, you might be. So just kind of be sensitive to that, and you know, don't overpower. So anyway, now let's get into the microphones. So first microphones that I have on the list here are, I call clean sounding microphones. So any vocal mic, okay? SM58, SM57, Audix Fireball. Audix Fireball is technically a harmonica microphone, but it uses a vocal type element. So that's why I put it in this category. But so with these, you're going to get a cleaner, no distorted sound. So if you want that, you're going to want to look for one of these. So look for a dynamic element microphone or any vocal mic, right? So yes. However, though, I do want to say you can get a good dirty sound with some of these clean microphones. Example, Merton Buffalo. Once again, Jason Ritchie actually early on used a 57. And also there's a bunch of other players that use like a totally clean mic, but through a dirty amp. So yeah, anyway, we'll come back to that thought in a second. Merton Buffalo, like I said. Now, so those are like kind of the modern type of amps. So, Tomlin had to take off. He should be back soon, so don't worry. We'll be okay. Butterfield, yeah, and actually that fits into this next category. So the next category I have is clean dynamic mics, clean but they distort well. So we're talking like in the mid to late 60s, I guess. At some point, the microphone elements started to get a little cleaner because I think all the microphone companies started to notice like, oh boy, you know, like we need to make better microphones for the singers and for the other instruments. So elements, you'll notice, did start to get a little cleaner. So this is where the Paul Butterfield microphone comes in. So we're talking like the Shure 545. We also have, which these are the precursor to that. This is the Shure Spherodyne. Sorry, it's backwards. Or it's probably just backwards on mine. But this is a killer microphone, by the way. You can find these on eBay and other places for pretty cheap. I got this one for like $30. So, but anyway, yeah, great microphone. So they have a bit of a clean sound, but they distort really well. That's why I really like this one. It's because it has a pretty clean sound, but it has a little bit of that crystally kind of sound. So very good mic. Look for these if you can. They're really cool. Also, this part right here is nice for cupping. One thing, I don't have my 50. Oh, yes, I do. Hang on. Sorry. I was mostly prepared. Thing with a regular 58 type of microphone, you want to be careful when you're cupping, because if you're too far up this way, you're going to get a little leakage. So make sure that you got this all kind of covered. That's why a lot of people like the 57 a little better, because you can get more cuppage around the element. So that's cool. That's a thing. Okay. Anyway, so we have those. Moving right along. Okay, yeah. So now we get into the more kind of dirtier sounding elements. More like, so these are kind of like the classic Chicago bluesy kind of thing. So first one is controlled magnetic and controlled reluctance elements. Now, these are actually the predecessor to dynamic mics. They do. Quick question here. Sorry, I'm getting to them when I can. I play with a Hohner, Harp Blaster, but recently started making my own from old telephone earpieces. Cool. Or headphone elements. Very lo-fi, but usable for home practice or taking out on the street. That can be great fun. Yes, I actually was doing that for a while too, and it was a lot of fun. And something to experiment with, So anything generally good? Yes, and so somebody asked, Jordan asked, anything generally good, not a fortune to start off with, mic and amp wise? Yes, I'm going to get to that in a moment, because I made a little list of some different microphones and amps to try. So, okay, so yeah, controlled magnetic and controlled reluctance elements. These are actually the first dynamic elements. These were like the start of it all. So if you're wanting a darker distorted kind of sound, you're going to want these, because they have that. They have they distort really easily. They also have a pretty nice spectrum on the low end, so a nice bass response. So if you're looking for a microphone that tends to distort, just like through every amp you play it through, you'll want to find one of these, because that's that sound you're looking for. So I have a couple of them myself. Maybe if there's time, I'll go through a couple of them. But anyway, so now we move on to crystal and ceramic mic elements. So unfortunately, I don't know a whole lot about crystal and ceramic elements, but I do know a little bit. These elements tend to have a more whistly or a sparkly kind of quality to their sound, more on the high end, more of a trebly kind of sound. Not in a bad way, though, in a kind of a cool way. They have a little bit more honk than a dynamic microphone. You could find them in a lot of the vintage bullet shells, the static, like the old green bullet, like the original green bullets, the biscuit, all those kind of ones. So you want to look for names like M127. There's also one called M151, I believe, but those are like kind of the sought after ones. There's a bunch of others too. You know what? Check out Dennis Grunling's website, and that is www.badassharmonica.com. He knows everything about crystal mics, and he can help you. He's got a lot of them for sale too. So if you're looking for that really kind of nice, sparkly, whistly, honky kind of amplified sound, those are the ones you want. So think like, William Clark, Kim Wilson, Rod Piazza, that kind of sound. That's, you'll want to. But once again, keep in mind, just because those work for those guys doesn't mean that's going to be your microphone. Once again, you just got to try it out. So, I don't use a whole lot of crystal microphones myself, but I do have a couple. Just on the off chance that I get asked to do a recording session and they want a really, classic Chicago bluesy kind of, nasty kind of sound, then I'll use the crystal. So they're good to have for that kind of situation. So anyway, now I made a small list of microphones, a short list of the microphones I've tried out. But these are harp mics that you can find pretty commonly nowadays, and I think they're worth checking out. So first off, at the top of the list, I have the Bulletini. Some of you are familiar with this one. Cute little guy like this. and it's made from a Harley Davidson tailpiece, I believe, like the turn signal, I think it is. But so it's got a little bit of weight to it. They're really cool. So they're really nice. You can cup them really easily. And the element inside is called the Human element. And so that's an element actually made by Greg Human, who owns the company, which is called Blows Me Away Productions. He actually built this element himself, and he actually fine-tuned it specifically for harmonica. So it doesn't quite sound like any of the other harmonica microphones that you get, which is cool because of that, it gives you more headroom on some of your amp controls. It's a pretty bassy microphone, so you don't need to dial in your bass on your amp as much. Kind of cool. It's also kind of it's a tiny bit muffly, which is good because harmonica is pretty bright, and now you're able to bump your treble up on your amp a little bit. So great microphone. This is the one that doesn't have a volume control, and I believe it's 189, something like that. Not terrible. And then you can get one with a volume control on the back, and I believe that is 220, I think, 230, something like that. Definitely want to check that out. I recommend this microphone to a lot of people. This is a great mic. Even if it doesn't become your mic of choice, they're great to have around as a backup. And they're really good. Consistently, these sound good. I've tried this through a lot of different amps, and it just consistently sounds really good. It also works really well in solid state amps, which I'll demonstrate in a second. So Bulletini, very good microphone.
That was just a small chunk of Hank's awesome seminar all about tone. The full seminar is available to watch along with a library of other awesome guest seminars for students over at tomlinharmonicaschool.com. You can find out more about my school and sign up by clicking on the link in the description below. Alright, thanks for watching. Happy harping.